You ever look up at a jetliner, some gleaming hunk of metal defying gravity, and wonder what it'd be like to be up there? I'm talking 30,000 feet strapped into a seat, hurtling through the air faster than the speed of sound. Most folks, they picture those little bags of pretzels and a chatty neighbor. But me? I think about the guys and gals up front wrestling with millions of pounds of machinery, facing down storms and system failures, all with the kind of calm you only get from staring down the jaws of disaster and spitting in its eye. And let me tell you, those jaws, they open wide up there. Because high above the earth, where the air is thin and the margin for error is thinner, anything can happen. We're talking lightning strikes, bird strikes, wind shears that could flip a school bus, and that's just on a Tuesday. But here's the thing. Sometimes, the impossible happens. Planes land without landing gear, pilots stare down tornadoes and live to tell the tale. And every now and then, ordinary folks find themselves doing extraordinary things at the stick, all thanks to a healthy dose of guts and a whole lot of luck. These are 10 of those jaw-dropping moments caught on camera that'll make you rethink everything you thought you knew about flying. So buckle up, folks, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. And oh yeah, hit that subscribe button and share this video with your friends. We're just getting started. Picture this. You're on a routine flight. Sun setting, maybe you've got a lukewarm beverage in your hand, thinking about that first bite of whatever reheated meal is coming your way. Then, over the intercom, that calm, reassuring pilot voice suddenly takes on a different tone. There's been a slight issue, the kind of issue that sends a chill down your spine and makes you wish you'd paid more attention to that safety demonstration. The landing gear, see, it ain't cooperating, stuck, busted, pick a word, any word, as long as it means you're about to be part of a controlled crash landing. Hundreds of passengers, just like you and me, holding their breath, clutching their armrests, wondering if this is it, the big one. The moment they become a statistic on the evening news. But here's the thing about pilots, they're a different breed. Years of training, thousands of hours logged, they've simulated this exact scenario 1,000 times. They know the odds, they feel the fear, but they don't let it paralyze them. They become surgeons, calmly running through checklists, prepping the cabin, talking to the ground crew, all while guiding a multi-ton metal bird towards the earth with the grace of a ballet dancer. And then, the moment of truth. No wheels, no cushion, just the raw belly of the plane scraping against the asphalt. Sparks fly, smoke billows, and you can bet your bottom dollar somewhere in that cabin, someone's letting out a string of prayers they haven't uttered since childhood. But through it all, that pilot, that steely-eyed master of the sky, keeps his cool, keeps the plane steady, and somehow, someway, manages to pull off the impossible. Not a single life lost, not a scratch on anyone, just a testament to the kind of skill and courage that makes you want to shake that pilot's hand and buy him a very stiff drink. That, my friends, is what separates the birds from the barnacles. That's the difference between a good day and a bad day at the office when your office is 30,000 feet in the air. You ever been caught in a thunderstorm? The kind that rolls in like a freight train, all dark clouds and that crackle of electricity in the air that makes the hair on your arms stand up? Now, imagine that, but you're sealed inside a metal tube, hurtling through the sky, and the storm is coming at you at 500 miles an hour. That's what it's like to fly into a lightning storm. 1 minute you're cruising along, enjoying the view, maybe catching a nap. The next, bam! The whole world explodes in white-hot light. A bolt of lightning, thicker than a redwood tree, slams into the wing of the plane and you feel it in your teeth. The cabin erupts, gasps, screams, the sudden smell of ozone cutting through the recycled air. Lights flicker, alarms blare, and for a split second, you're certain this is it, your number's up. But then, just as quickly as it hit, the light fades. The plane shudders, groans, like a boxer shaking off a blow, and somehow, miraculously, keeps flying. Now you might think this is just dumb luck, wrong place, wrong time, a cosmic coin toss. But what you don't see, what those shaky cell phone videos don't capture, is the years of engineering, the millions of dollars, the countless hours of testing that go into making sure planes can take a licking and keep on ticking. Because when you're building something to fly through the sky, you better believe you're gonna factor in Mother Nature at her most furious. So yeah, that lightning strike might look terrifying, and believe me, it is. But it's also a testament to human ingenuity, to the men and women who design, build, and fly these incredible machines. They know the risks, they respect the power of the storm, and they build their planes accordingly. Because up there, at 30,000 feet, it's not just about defying gravity, it's about surviving the elements. We've all seen the footage, twisters ripping across the plains, tearing up houses, tossing cars around like toys. It's the kind of raw power that makes you want to crawl in a hole and hide. But imagine, just for a second, being trapped in the middle of that fury, not on the ground, but thousands of feet in the air. That's the nightmare scenario a small private jet found itself in. No warning, no time to react, Just a wall of swirling black clouds and a gut-wrenching feeling that things were about to get very, very bad. The footage from inside the plane is the stuff of nightmares. Shaky, frantic, the world outside a dizzying blur of gray and black. The wind screams against the fuselage, trying to rip the wings off. Debris, God knows what it is, whips past the windows. Now, I've flown in my fair share of rough weather, bumps, drops, turbulence that'd make a roller coaster jealous. But this is a whole different beast. This is Mother Nature in full-on Godzilla mode. And that pilot, he's holding on for dear life, trying to wrestle that little plane through the chaos. You can hear it in his voice, the strain, the adrenaline, the quiet prayers he's muttering under his breath, but you can also hear something else. Determination, skill, the refusal to give up, even when the odds are stacked higher than a Kansas twister. He fights for every foot, every inch of altitude, every second of airtime. And then, just when you think the plane is going to be ripped apart, a miracle. A break in the clouds, a sliver of blue sky. The pilot, battered but unbroken, seizes the opportunity, maneuvering the plane through the storm and into the clear. They land, shaken but alive, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the fact that sometimes, just sometimes, even tornadoes cut you a break. Chapter 4, January 15, 2009. A date forever etched in aviation history. It was a day that started like any other, but in a matter of minutes, turned into a testament to the kind of calm under pressure that separates legends from the rest of us. U.S. Airways Flight 1549, just another bird taking to the sky, carrying 155 souls on a routine flight. But fate, as it often does, had other plans. Just minutes after takeoff, a flock of geese, those feathered fiends, slammed into both engines. Not a bump, not a bird strike, but a full-on avian assault that left the plane and everyone on board literally dead in the water. No power, no altitude, just the sickening silence of a plane that's become a very expensive glider. Now, most folks, myself included, would be staring out the window, wondering which deity to pray to. But not Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger. This guy, this legend in the making, he took one look at the situation, assessed the options, and made a call that would be studied, debated, and ultimately celebrated for years to come. He was putting that bird down in the Hudson River, not beside it, not near it, but right smack dab in the middle of one of the busiest waterways in the world. The footage, captured from buildings and boats, shows it all. The Airbus A320, silent as death, gliding low over the rooftops of New York City, a ghost ship descending on a sea of concrete. And then, the splash. Not a crash, not a bone-jarring impact, but a controlled water landing so smooth, so precise, you'd think Sully had been landing planes on rivers his whole life. The plane bobs to a stop, passengers scrambling onto the wings, the icy water lapping at their feet. Ferries, those workhorses of the harbor, rush to the rescue, plucking survivors from the frigid water. A scene straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster, only this time, it was real. 155 souls on board, 155 souls saved. All thanks to the quick thinking, the steady hand, the unwavering courage of one man who refused to let the impossible break him. They call it the miracle on the Hudson. I call it a testament to the human spirit and the fact that sometimes, even when the chips are down, we're capable of amazing things. Chapter 5. We've all seen enough movies to know the drill. The lights dim, the cabin crew gets that nervous look, and then, some maniac bursts into the aisle screaming about injustice or freedom or maybe just a really bad sandwich. Hijackings. They're the stuff of nightmares, the kind of scenarios that make you want to stay firmly planted on the ground. But this ain't no movie set. This is real life, folks, and the stakes are higher than a first-class upgrade. The footage, captured on a hidden camera in the cockpit, is chilling. One minute the pilots are going through their pre-flight checklist, calm and collected. The next, the cockpit door bursts open, and chaos spills in. A passenger, eyes wild, face contorted with rage, lunges for the controls, spouting gibberish, threats, the kind of desperate pleas that send chills down your spine. It's a scene straight out of your worst nightmare, a pressure cooker of fear and adrenaline, and those pilots, those guardians of the sky, they're caught in the middle of it. But here's the thing about training, it kicks in when you need it most. While one pilot grapples with the attacker, trying to subdue him, the other fights to keep the plane level, to maintain control, to buy precious seconds. They work in tandem, a well-oiled machine honed by years of practice, their movements precise, their voices calm amidst the screaming. The footage is chaotic, a blur of limbs and shouting, but through it all you can see it. The focus, the determination, the sheer grit of these pilots as they fight tooth and nail to protect their passengers, their crew, their plane. They don't back down, they don't hesitate, they meet violence with calculated force, their actions a testament to the kind of courage that doesn't come with a badge or a uniform. In the end, they subdue the attacker, restrain him, and manage to land the plane safely. no one's hurt, no lives lost, just a collective sigh of relief that echoes from the cockpit to the last row of coach. It's a victory, not just for the crew and passengers, but for the indomitable spirit of those who refuse to let fear win. And it's all caught on camera, a stark reminder that sometimes, the real heroes are the ones who fly under the radar, keeping us safe, one flight at a time. Chapter 6. You ever been on a roller coaster that took a sudden, unexpected plunge? That stomach-lurching, teeth-clenching drop that makes you question every life choice that led you to that moment? Now imagine that feeling, but you're 1,000 feet in the air, strapped into a metal tube, hurtling towards the earth at 150 miles per hour. That's wind shear, my friends, an invisible force, a sudden shift in wind direction and speed that can turn a routine landing into a white-knuckle fight for survival. 1 minute you're cruising along, the runway in sight, the comforting chime of the fasten your seatbelt sign echoing through the cabin. The next, bam! It's like the plane hit a brick wall made of air. The nose dips, the wings wobble, the whole aircraft shudders like it's about to shake apart. Inside it's pure chaos. Luggage flies, people scream, and that lukewarm coffee you were enjoying, yeah, it's now a stain on the ceiling. From the ground it looks like a scene from a disaster movie. The plane, caught in the grip of the wind shear, bounces off the runway like a rubber ball, sparks flying from the undercarriage, tires screeching in protest. It's enough to make you want to swear off flying forever. But up in the cockpit, it's a different story. Those pilots, those steely-eyed masters of the sky, they're facing down forces that'd make a hurricane blush. They're wrestling with the controls, fighting to regain control, their faces grim, their voices calm amidst the storm. They know that landing now, in this maelstrom of wind and turbulence, is suicide. So they do the only thing they can do, they go around. Engines roar, the plane claws its way back into the sky, battered but unbroken, a testament to the sheer willpower of those at the controls. The second attempt, thankfully, is a charm. The wind shear has passed, the plane touches down smoothly, and a collective sigh of relief sweeps through the cabin. But that footage, that heart-stopping moment when it looked like the plane might just disintegrate, it stays with you. A reminder that even in the age of modern aviation, Mother Nature is a force to be reckoned with. Chapter 7. Engine explodes after takeoff. We all know the feeling. That moment when the plane lifts off the runway, the wheels leave the ground and you feel that weightless sensation, that brief defiance of gravity. It's exhilarating, freeing, a moment of pure joy. But what happens when that moment of joy turns to terror in the blink of an eye? That's what happened on this flight. The plane, packed with passengers, had just taken off, climbing gracefully into the sky, when the unthinkable occurred. One of the engines, those behemoths of power and engineering, decided to call it quits. And not just quit, mind you, but explode in a fiery spectacle of metal and fire. Now I've seen my share of explosions, controlled demolitions, special effects on movie sets. But let me tell you, nothing compares to the raw, primal fear of seeing an engine explode on a plane you're sitting in. The footage, captured by a passenger on their phone, is terrifying. The once peaceful blue sky is now marred by a plume of black smoke, the engine, engulfed in flames, spinning wildly out of control. Inside the cabin, panic erupts, screams pierce the air, prayers are whispered, and the smell of jet fuel and fear hangs heavy. But amidst the chaos, a voice cuts through, calm, steady, reassuring. The pilot, his voice betraying no hint of the inferno raging outside the cockpit window, informs the passengers that they've had an engine malfunction and are returning to the airport. And return they do. With one engine down, the plane limps back to the runway, guided by the steady hand of the pilot and the prayers of everyone on board. The landing is rough, bumpy, but it's a landing nonetheless. The plane skids to a halt, fire trucks screech to a stop around it, and as the passengers disembark, shaken but alive, there's a collective sigh of relief that could be heard for miles. That engine explosion, that terrifying moment of chaos and fear, it's a stark reminder that even in the safest form of travel, danger is just a wing and a prayer away. But it's also a testament to the skill, courage, and professionalism of the pilots and crew who, even in the face of disaster, kept their cool and brought everyone home safe. Airports, those bustling hubs of humanity, where the world comes together in a symphony of jet engines, luggage carousels, and overpriced coffee. It's a carefully choreographed dance, a ballet of steel and speed where timing is everything, and even the slightest misstep can have disastrous consequences. But sometimes even the best choreography can't account for the unexpected. And on this particular day, at one of the busiest airports in the world, the unexpected arrived in the form of a near miss, so terrifying, so close, it sent shockwaves through the aviation community. The stage was set for disaster. One plane, cleared for takeoff, was hurtling down the runway, engines screaming, ready to climb into the sky. At the same time, another plane cleared to land on the same runway was descending, its landing gear down, its approach perfectly timed. Except it wasn't. Somewhere in the tangled web of communication, human error had reared its ugly head. A miscommunication, a misunderstanding, a simple mistake, and suddenly, two planes carrying hundreds of passengers were on a collision course, their paths converging with terrifying speed. The footage, captured by the airport's control tower cameras, is enough to make your heart skip a beat. The two planes, mere specks on the screen, grow larger, closer, their paths intersecting in a terrifying X of impending disaster. On the ground, air traffic controllers scream into their headsets, their voices frantic, desperate, their commands lost in the roar of engines and the static of radio waves. In the cockpits of both planes, alarms blare, warning systems shriek, and the pilots, their faces grim, their hands steady on the controls, prepare for the worst. But then, in the nick of time, a miracle. The pilot of the landing plane, reacting with lightning reflexes honed by years of experience, slams the throttles forward, yanking his aircraft back into the sky, narrowly avoiding a catastrophic collision. The two planes, wings almost touching, pass each other in a blur of metal and speed, the roar of their engines deafening, the wake turbulence buffeting both aircraft violently. It's a near miss of epic proportions, a testament to the skill, courage, and a healthy dose of luck that kept two planes from becoming a mangled pile of wreckage. Air shows, those dazzling displays of aerial acrobatics where pilots push their machines and their own limits, defying gravity and captivating audiences with feats of skill and daring. It's a spectacle, a ballet of speed and precision, where the sky becomes a canvas for breathtaking maneuvers and death-defying stunts. But sometimes, even the most carefully planned routines can take an unexpected turn. And on this particular day, during an air show that promised to be bigger and bolder than ever before, the unexpected arrived in the form of a fighter jet that seemed to vanish into thin air. The crowd, eyes glued to the sky, watched in awe as the sleek, powerful fighter jet roared down the runway, its afterburner ablaze, the sound deafening. It climbed sharply, a silver arrow piercing the blue canvas of the sky, performing a series of maneuvers that left the audience breathless. And then, it happened. The jet, reaching the apex of its climb, nose straight up, its engine screaming, its silhouette shrinking against the vastness of the sky. Higher and higher it climbed, until it was nothing more than a dot, a speck of silver against the blue. And then, it was gone. The crowd gasped, their cheers turning to murmurs of confusion and concern. There was no explosion, no plume of smoke, no sign of the jet. It had simply vanished, as if swallowed by the sky itself. The footage, captured by multiple cameras, is both mesmerizing and unsettling. The jet, climbing vertically, shrinks to a point, then disappears entirely, leaving behind only a trail of smoke and a sky full of questions. Theories abounded. Some speculated that the jet had flown into a cloud, its silhouette obscured by the water vapor. Others whispered of secret government technology, of cloaking devices and experimental aircraft. But the most likely explanation, according to experts, was far simpler, yet no less extraordinary. The jet, pushing the very limits of its performance envelope, had likely exceeded the speed of sound, creating a sonic boom and a vapor cone that momentarily obscured it from view. Whatever the explanation, one thing is certain. That day, at that air show, a fighter jet performed a maneuver so extreme, so daring, that it seemed to defy the laws of physics, leaving behind a sky full of wonder and a crowd that would never forget what they had witnessed. We've all been there. Stuck on a long flight, bored out of our minds, flipping through the in-flight magazine for the 100th time, wishing we were anywhere but crammed in this metal tube hurtling through the air. But imagine, just for a second, that this routine flight, this mundane journey, takes a turn for the surreal. The pilot, the man entrusted with the lives of everyone on board, slumps over the controls, unconscious. No warning, no time to react, just the chilling realization that the plane, this metal bird soaring through the sky, is now without a captain. Panic ripples through the cabin. The flight attendants, their faces pale, their training kicking in, rush to the cockpit, only to be met with a locked door and a silence that speaks volumes. The co-pilot, nowhere to be found, presumably incapacitated or worse. It's a nightmare scenario, the kind of situation that tests the limits of human courage and resilience. But amidst the fear, the uncertainty, a glimmer of hope emerges. A passenger, an ordinary person on an extraordinary day steps forward. He's never flown a plane before, not in real life. But he's an enthusiast, a simulator junkie, a man who's spent countless hours living out his aviation dreams in the virtual world. And now, faced with a real-life crisis, he's the only one who might be able to avert disaster. With the help of air traffic control, their voices crackling over the radio, a lifeline of guidance and support, He makes his way to the cockpit. The door, finally open, reveals the unconscious pilot slumped over the controls, the plane, devoid of human guidance, drifting off course. Taking a deep breath, his hands shaking, his heart pounding in his chest, he takes the controls. The yoke feels alien beneath his fingers, the instruments a dizzying array of dials and gauges. But somewhere, deep down, instinct takes over. Years of simulated flights, of virtual takeoffs and landings, flood his memory. The footage, captured by a shaky handheld camera, is both terrifying and inspiring. The plane, buffeted by turbulence, bobs and weaves through the sky, its movements erratic, uncertain. But slowly, miraculously, the passenger, guided by the voices on the radio, starts to gain control. The landing is rough, bumpy, a testament to the inexperience of the man at the controls. But it's a landing nonetheless. The plane touches down, skids to a halt, and a collective cheer erupts from the cabin, a symphony of relief and gratitude. The passenger, hailed as a hero, emerges from the cockpit, his face pale, his legs wobbly, but his spirit unbroken. He's a testament to the human capacity for courage, for rising to the occasion, for achieving the impossible when the stakes are at their highest. So there you have it, folks. 10 stories, 10 moments captured on camera that remind us just how wild, how unpredictable, how downright terrifying the wild blue yonder can be. But these clips, they're more than just viral sensations. They're testaments to human ingenuity, to the men and women who build these incredible machines, who strap themselves in and stare down the unknown every single day. These are stories about the limits of human endurance, about staring fear in the face and refusing to blink, about the pilots who land planes on rivers, the passengers who become heroes, and the air traffic controllers who hold it all together when the sky seems like it's falling. So next time you're looking up at a jetliner, remember these stories. Remember the courage it takes to defy gravity, the skill it takes to cheat death, and the quiet heroism that unfolds every day, miles above the earth. And hey, while you're at it, hit that like button and tell us which story left you speechless. The skies are full of stories and we're just getting started.